Hi guys, what's up? It's Emma, and in today's video I'm going to be doing a video that has been so requested over the past few months. I'm going to be doing my college application process, my college application tips. I will be a freshman at Virginia Tech in the fall. If you guys didn't know, I'm going to Virginia Tech in Blacksburg, Virginia. I'm so pumped about it. I'll be studying neuroscience and I'm beyond excited. Personally, watching these videos last year as a rising junior was really helpful to me as far as figuring out what I wanted in a college, any idea on major, and kind of what to expect and how to prepare. A lot of the videos I watch were from Danielle Carolyn. I'll link her channel down below. As far as college process go and general college videos, I watch them all the time. A lot of my viewers are a lot younger than me, or just by a year, so I'm doing this video to help you guys out. And just in case you're curious, in this video I'll be talking about what happened to me with college, every college that I applied to, a general statistics on me for scores, and as well as tips for anybody who will be a rising junior or just younger than me in general when it comes to applying for college. If you guys are going to be interested in that video, then just keep watching. It's going to be a little bit of a longer one, so grab a snack. So just an overview, I actually ended up applying to 8 different schools. I applied to 3 in-state schools and then a bunch of schools that were out of state. Going into applying to schools, I kind of really had no idea what I wanted. I know that I wanted football most likely. I wanted kind of the classic collegiate experience, but I definitely wanted somewhere that I could study what I wanted to study in an environment that I liked. I grew up in State College, Pennsylvania, so I totally got the whole vibe of a hometown, college town feel. I wanted to go to Penn State for the longest time. Love that school, love State College. But as I grew up, my interest kind of changed a little bit, / I didn't want to go to school somewhere where it was like that cold all the time. So I applied to 8 schools. I applied to Virginia Tech, where I'm going. Gokies. I applied to University of Virginia, I applied to VCU, and those are my 3 in-state schools. Out of state, I applied to University of Florida, FSU, University of South Carolina, Alabama, and actually University of Arizona. My mindset behind applying to these colleges were Virginia Tech, UVA, and VCU were all in-state, so those are going to be easier options because they're a lot cheaper in-state, a lot financially smarter decisions as far as if you go in-state, you have a lot of options for other stuff, but there are also kind of like loopholes. Like for me, the Southeastern College Alliance allows you to go out of state with other certain states if you have a certain major that your in-state schools don't have. For instance, I applied to USC with a random major, I think it was like something communications, and that would give me in-state tuition at USC. Out of state, I applied to University of Florida, FSU, both in Florida. I've lived in Florida for a period of time, so I definitely knew those schools very well. I applied to University of Arizona, like I said, and then Bama and USC. So going into my junior year of high school, I kind of really had no idea what I wanted. My school's very competitive and had a lot of prep when it comes to college essays and stuff, so I was kind of a little bit prepared, but I still didn't really have a school I had my heart set on, and I'm someone that really wanted to go out of state initially because I like change, I like space, I like travel, so out of state was going to be the goal for me. So I actually applied to University of Arizona first, and that's one of the first schools that I knew that I got into, and I was actually lucky enough to receive Arizona Wildcat Excellence Scholarship. Made the price of tuition drop from crazy out-of-state price to decent in-state price, but still not the best, and I was super excited because since I'm studying neuroscience, U of A has a really great program for neuroscience, and I think it's actually one of the only schools in the country that had this specific neuroscience program, so I was stoked, even though Arizona was literally on the other side of the country. Now, as I kind of went through the application process and got my colleges back, my mind of what I wanted changed a lot because it's really hard to all of a sudden pick what you want to study, where you want to go, and essentially where you want to live for the next 4 years. It's really overwhelming, and in addition, trying to do junior year with that was just really confusing. So I got into U of A and I got a scholarship and I was super pumped. I then applied to University of Florida, which has a 30% acceptance rate, and actually ended up getting in, which I was so excited about. I literally almost passed out when I got the notification. It had a really early application date because colleges all change on their application date. I didn't apply to any school early, so I had a bunch of dates normally in like November or October where my stuff was due, some of them even as late as December. For getting my UF notification in the car outside William's house actually, and I read it, cried, ran up and rang William's doorbell and started freaking out and jumping up and down because at the time UF was like my dream school and I was super pumped about it. Heard from University of South Carolina next, and I also got into that, and because I chose a major that was in the Southeastern College Alliance, I ended up being able to get in-state tuition for USC, which is really cool because any school out of state is going to be a lot or a little more expensive than an in-state school would be depending on the university. So I was super stoked to get into there because from my school, USC was a big out-of-state puller, like a normal school that people from my school would go to that wasn't in Virginia. Then I heard back from Alabama. I kind of applied to Alabama as a safety school because it has a very large acceptance rate. It's a huge southern school. It's a lot of fun. Football is huge. Sorority and rush game is huge. I wouldn't really see myself there per se, but my mom had a friend who, when I was thinking about doing fashion in college, was like interning in New York from Bama, and I was like, that's a good breach from going like super southern to like super urban cool New York, and maybe I could do the same thing and it'd be possible to go to a huge football university but still do the kind of urban high fashion kind of thing that I initially wanted to do. So I thought that was a good option to apply for as a backup. Then I also applied to FSU because I was really worried that I wasn't going to get into UF, so I ended up applying to FSU kind of as a backup. I was still kind of iffy if I would get in. I was like 99% sure, but FSU was a school that a lot of people that I knew from Florida that were going to always had super fun things to say about it, so I decided to apply just in case I didn't get into UF. And I ended up getting a scholarship from FSU for being an out-of-state student, which is really cool. And they also offered me a chance where I could study abroad for the first year and then get in-state the next 3 years, which I actually was seriously considering at the time because that's a huge opportunity, and studying abroad is mandatory for me. So that's another thing that I had to take into consideration when I was making my decision. I actually applied in-state to 3 schools, like I said, VCU, UVA, and Virginia Tech. So I live in Richmond, so VCU is literally right downtown. It's 20 minutes from my house. I've kind of grown up here going downtown, so I know VCU super well, and it's a really big arts-based and science-based college, so it's kind of a combo of the two of the things that I love. And I ended up getting into VCU and got a little bit of money from them, and I was gonna go to school for science, which I was super pumped about. It has a really good like biochem, neuro program, medicine, all that jazz. When it came down to it though, my parents telling me that if I wanted to go to VCU I'd have to live at home, it immediately knocked it off my list because I've always been someone that's been very excited to move out and go to school and have my own space. And if I was gonna be commuting from my house downtown to college, not only would I miss out on like a huge part of like the college experience of staying in a dorm, living on college campus, even rushing, I would just miss a huge part of it because essentially I'd only be going down there for classes, and I miss the whole other chunk that comes with attending a university. So I applied to UVA as well. I didn't really want to apply to UVA, honestly. I've considered UVA another reach school. It's really selective. It's actually interesting because this year I've heard all across the board it's been one of the most competitive application years ever. My school, like I said, is super competitive. Like practically everybody has over a 4.0 GPA. My GPA was like a 4.2 something, so I was very dedicated to obviously being in good standing for school, competing against. I took 6 APs over my high school career, I guess. That kind of competition was kind of expected for my school, and it was really high pressure because my school was kind of expected to be really, really smart, and it was, so it's a lot of attention and once again pressure when it comes down to college. I applied to UVA just because everybody pretty much applies to UVA. I did the application actually in one day because I wasn't really super excited about UVA. It's in Charlottesville, no shit against Charlottesville, super cool little town. Not really what I was looking for in a college. I kind of just applied to apply. Can I get in? If I get in, great. It wasn't ever on my spectrum for actually legitimately going. Didn't actually do any official college tours. I only went to Tech for the spring football game because, I don't know, I think the whole talking up a school and touring and like telling everybody we're touring and the whole hashtag UVA 22 question mark is a bunch of BS that people put on when it comes to college stuff of like showing off, and I just think that whole process is kind of ridiculous and way overhyped, especially where I live. It's crazy. It's so dramatic. So UVA is a great school, but it wasn't really ever on my spectrum for actually attending. Actually, my decision was super easy because I ended up getting waitlisted at UVA, and they cut the waitlist off and I wasn't taken off the waitlist. So I was very lucky to actually not get denied from any school. I was just waitlisted at UVA, but I got into all my other ones expecting plain out rejection just because of how competitive UVA is. I got into Virginia Tech and I found out, and I was so excited because it just really has it all. They opened the School of Neuroscience 3 years ago. I'm going to study neuroscience. I'm not 100% sure what I want to do with my life, but I got my class schedule. I'm so excited. They have like the best football. My dorm is so nice. My roommate's super fun. They have so many clubs. They have great Greek life. They really have it all, and so I'm just so excited, blessed, pumped, all of the above to be attending tech. If you're curious about my grades or stats stuff, I'm not going to say an exact number. I never took the ACT. SAT was between 1300 and 1400, so it was a pretty decent score. GPA was around like a 4.23, I think, when I last checked. Every time you apply to a college, they evaluate each person differently based on their extracurriculars. I personally was someone that was super involved in the community at my school. I was a huge part of DECA. I was a National Honor Society member. I was in French Club for 4 years. I played volleyball for 5 years in high school. I actually ended up playing volleyball as an 8th grader from middle school and then played all 4 years of normal high school. So much fun, wouldn't trade it for the world, and I was like MVP on those, team captain. Stuff like that looks really good on your college applications, like defining leadership factors, showing that you're a team player as well. Also part of Beta, I was the communications director for Beta. I was in Key Club for a little bit, and in addition to having a lot of stuff saying that I was like a leader and having like team building and like group stuff, I also had my YouTube channel, which is like a side to show my business aspect and creativity. So I kind of had all my stuff lined up as far as college apps, showing that I was very well-rounded. Community service as well. I actually worked, did a summer internship thing at the FBI last summer in Richmond, which was so cool. That's also something else, is to look for opportunities that are going to be really unique on your application, because they're going to get so many kids that are well-rounded and have good grades, but when it comes down to having like that one cool thing, my big one cool thing was, one, my YouTube channel and the fact that I worked at the FBI last summer, because not many people can say that. So try to find cool opportunities your junior year that are going to be a lot different from everybody else. It's also important to have quality over quantity. If you're in like 5 clubs but you're just in the club, that's not going to look as good if you're in 2 clubs but you're president and then you're like a committee chair. You get what I'm saying? I was super involved in high school, which helped my college application process, but when it comes down to tips and tricks, 1, write your essays literally as soon as you can. I was lucky enough to start this at the end of my junior year. We actually like did a writing program in my English class that like began our college essays, and my school is very hands-on when it comes to applying to college, but not everyone's school is like that. So start your college essays as soon as you can. Colleges will generally release topics or what they're looking for super early, so you can take a look at that way before it's even time to apply. This summer going into senior year, write your essays then, because honestly senior year is my busiest year, and trying to manage my senior volleyball season, making YouTube videos, working a part-time job, applying to college, and just normal school literally almost killed me. So getting the essay process done first is really important, because you can write rough drafts and you can like generally edit them, and so when it comes down to during early decision or regular decision, you're gonna have everything prepped to go. I would also advise you to really go hard your junior year. I personally busted my butt junior year and got perfect straight A's, and I took 3 AP classes, so it was a lot of work, but it was really worth it, because having the basis of 4.0 on my apps was really important to make me stand out and just look like a better, well-rounded student. Grades, getting stuff done early, and really truly studying and taking your SAT is really important, or any standardized tests like SAT/ACT. For me, I took the SAT once cold and got a score that I was really not happy with, and so when I studied like on and off a little bit and took it again and then got the exact same score, and I was like, dude, are you kidding? I took the entire summer leading into junior year. I studied for 3 months straight. Every single day I took a practice test, and I was on a really consistent schedule because I nannied, so I'd take the kids to the pool, SAT book all day, and then take them home. So I had like a set schedule, and it's really hard to kind of get in a routine, but once you are, it's so worth it. And I actually ended up bumping my score up by 100 points. Might not seem by a lot, but on the SAT scale is a lot, so I was super happy with that. SAT scores can be defining factors, whether you're going to be bumped up to the next level of admissions or bumped out, because that score is kind of something they either evaluate really highly on depending on the school or not. Once again, it just really depends on your school, and you can look up requirements, stuff like that. Take AP courses if you can, because it can help you opt out of college classes, which is really fun, and it looks good on your application for college. I know personally it was really awesome, because I was just at orientation and we met our schedules, and I got to cross off a lot of classes in my schedule that I didn't have to take because I had credit from the AP classes. So it was nice to finally see all my work throughout high school paying off for my college schedule and being able to cross off credit hours that I didn't need. Also, once again, this goes hand in hand with writing your essays early. Submit your college apps as early as you can and get it out of the way, because trust me, you and your friends are going to be so stressed about it, because once you're a senior, the beginning of senior year, all anybody talks about ever is college, and it is so stressful. But once you have it all done, you can start to like kind of breeze through senior year and focus on your schoolwork, as opposed to getting really caught up in everything that college is or whatever. I would definitely recommend going into college applications not having a pre-existing idea of a college or the kind of person that goes to a college, and truly think about evaluating every college on what you actually want and kind of creating a list of pros and cons. For me, that was like major, location, how expensive it was, stuff like that, to kind of help you narrow down what you're truly looking for, because I applied to a lot of schools that I probably didn't need to at all, like fluff schools, just because I was kind of confused on what I wanted. Also, a huge note, apply for scholarships. Scholarships are so important. You can not only apply for scholarships as you're applying for certain things like the honors college, but once you are finished with college applications, you can actually go in through your school or through the school that you applied to, so either high school or the college you want to attend, and look for scholarships on the websites. It's seriously so important. You can apply to literally almost all of them. But I hope that gave you guys a good idea on my college application process slash what I'd recommend. If you have any questions at all, if you're a rising junior, if you're a rising high school student and you have questions, feel free to leave them down below. I'll definitely try to answer all of them. I'm super open about this, so I really want to help you guys if you're applying to college, because I know I was stressed out of my mind and it's just a lot, and I'm here to help, and I hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a comment down below saying whatever you want. Expect college videos. I'm doing week in my life, day in my life, move-in vlogs. If I end up rushing, which I'm not 100% yet, I'll have like a rush outfit slash maybe a rush video. I have no idea about that yet. Virginia Tech actually rushes in the winter, so that's going to be a little far out, so I can get settled first and decide on that. But I'm so excited for the next step of my life, and hope you guys are too. It's going to be a lot different, but also really exciting. So I guess we're going to see how that's going to go. Leave a like, subscribe, follow my Instagram, Twitter, Dodo account, all that good stuff. And I truly love you guys so much. Bye. Mwah. Gokies, baby. So side note, when I was at orientation, I went to the Goodwill there and I made out. That makes it sound like I kissed somebody. I got so much good stuff, and I'll be thrifting through college, and you guys are going to be shook when that haul comes out. So we're good to go, and I can't wait. The college requirements were pretty much football, good program, decent living space, and good thrifting.